Chris Clenshaw is a nostalgic baiter and a wanker. Not my words.
Coward. He's a coward, most importantly. He's a big, stinky, stinky, stinky coward. Look at him. He's bringing back... He brought back Ryan to fucking make Stacey poor and set up the stalker. He brought back David to flirt with Cindy for fucking 4 episodes. He brought back Chrissy for no reason. He's just bringing back everyone. He's bringing back everyone for no reason. Not any of this other storylines. None of this other shit. He just keeps bringing back fucking old fossils. Characters who don't deserve to be here anymore. Characters who are never going to be a main fucking deal. It's all fan service. It's not actually to appease the current audience. He's a nostalgia baiting coward. There we are. Yep. That's a joke. Or it's not a joke. It's what someone says on this subreddit. It is... I mean, I made it. I gave a bit more hyperbole in general, but it's pretty much the whole. It's the whole thing. If you wanna read down the actual fucking, if you wanna read the actual thing he said.
This is why I like shouting out to people. I sometimes forget who they are. So if I forget to mention your name when I shout you out, if you're an original poster, I'm sorry. But I always try my best to shout them out. So OK version 6/402 says.
Like you said version, but I heard it as virgin.
You're a fucking virgin.
Never had sex with a person.
Is that from Robot Man? Or am I wrong?
No, that's from fucking PKJ's fucking Sindhu sesh. Yeah, one of the Northern Boys.
Yeah.
You're a virgin. Never had sex with a person. You've only had sex with your right hand. That shit ain't right, man. It's fucking...
He dropped bars in the studio. Sorry lads for going off a tangent. That's fucking funny. I need to listen to that again. I'm going to listen to it after this video ends.
It is great.
With Chris Clenshaw leaving after the 40th anniversary, I've looked back at his era of the show, and my god, it's full of nothing. It's full of nothing nostalgia pay and fan service. Look at all the old characters he has brought back with no purpose. Ryan literally only came back for 2 episodes. Okay, I can agree with that one because Ryan was fuck on.
Well, no, he set Stacey's money problems completely back, which then proceeded to build the rest of her year from that storyline alone.
True. And it was for no reason. He only brought back Chrissy and Jag, given their happy ending. Dean was only brought back.
No, you fucking hell.
Dean was only brought back because people wanted justice for what he did to Linda. All this is just fan service to lure the audience in. There's no actual storylines coming out. Well, I'm not going to say out because they didn't say out. They said hour of this sort of stuff.
Fuck off. Come on, what you mean? Alright, let me just pick through all that nonsense. Ryan literally only came back for 2 episodes. He came back for about a week in February. It was kind of like the crossover period. What Ryan's appearance did is he returned when his daughter Lily was pregnant at 12, then went, if this is how she's being fucking raised, I'm not giving you your child support anymore. Which proceeded to mould Stacey's year, as Stacey, had Ryan not have stopped the child support, Stacey wouldn't have had to start Secret Cam. Then she probably wouldn't have been stalked by Theo. And then in the end, she probably wouldn't have grown closer to Jack and then had a little affair with him. And it all culminated in her being kind of dicked around by awful men who were just kind of taking what they want and never paying for their actions. So that's what Ryan did. Yes, the return was underwhelming. And yes, it was kind of shit. I won't lie. Didn't really do justice for the character. He still played a role in the story. And his impact is what started Stacey's last year. Do you have anything on Ryan, or shall I continue?
Just very quickly on Theo, I fucking seen a video of the actor who plays him, William Ellis, I think that's his name.
Yeah, something like that.
I'll just cut to the who for a second. He obviously went, you know the great thing about Halloween parties is, once you've played a film on like a TV show, you can go as yourself. and it fucked with me. Because he just does a laugh going, mo, like, you know, the mo, that sort of laugh. But yeah, my thoughts on that is, I agree in a sense, but yeah, I didn't really like Ryan's turn, but I didn't grow up with Ryan. I didn't grow up with most of these characters, but I knew of them. Ryan was the only one that was kind of like, well, that was sobby, because that was all right, you know?
Oh, you just mentioned wasabi?
Yes.
That fully threw me. He only brought Chrissy and Jake back to give them their happy ending. That's fucking wrong too. First and foremost, Jake appeared for about 2 minutes maximum. He only appeared for 2 minutes. The return of Chrissy Watts was to reunite Sharon with the woman who killed her dad. And, in a very poetic sense, Chrissy went to prison for killing someone in the Queen Vic, covering up the body, and trying to run away from the police. And what did Sharon do? Last Christmas, Sharon helped cover up a body of her husband that she loved, but he had turned violent. He was trying to kill her. He had turned quite kind of deranged towards her. It wasn't exactly the most traditional happy relationship. She wasn't telling him stuff. He wasn't telling her stuff. It was, in a sense, it was abusive. Not as much as they'd love to kind of argue that it was, but it was still a toxic relationship for both parties. Her reuniting with Chrissy was to kind of give a bit of closure to Sharon, to realize that, look, you did love each other, but in the end, it was either me or him, and she made the choice that it was going to be, well, she didn't make the choice. I made the choice for her, and she had to deal with it. Dean was only brought back because people wanted justice for what he did to Linda. Also, untrue. Well, no. He's not wrong, but it was a bit more nuanced than that, in my opinion. Like, Dean was a really interesting character because we got to see how he was going to readjust to life on the square. Him still not admitting the truth, but him still being in Linda's orbit because he couldn't fucking help himself. He was there to be a red herring at Who Dies at Christmas. There was interesting stuff with Jade as well. And in the end, he was there to, take the fall for the 6, which he didn't technically do. And in the end, he got a bit too cocky for himself and outed that he did actually commit the heinous act on Linda that he hadn't admitted to the entire time, thus giving Linda the closure to be able to start to move on with her life, as well as admitting the truth about killing Keanu. Now it's given her the platform to kind of heal again, and now she's back to trying to fix her life, knowing it's gone so out of control. But also, is Dean not being brought back to have justice for Linda? Isn't that a good fucking story? Like, that, it was a good fucking story. She finally got it. 10 years. After 10 years, she finally got the confession. Most people never get that confession. And it was an important story, and it's one that, among a lot of the other abusers in soap and abusers in general, it was nice to see one of them actually finally get what they deserve. So I don't think, and let's be honest, who's nostalgic for Dean Wicks? Come on, who's nostalgic for Dean Wicks? Whose favorite character is Dean Wicks of all fucking people? Let's be honest. Is that nostalgia bait or is it fan service? Because nobody gave a shit about Dino. Yeah.
No, because I wanted you to do a bit where I put my hand up and I put your fucking hand down.
I was just like, he keeps raising it. Why does he keep raising his hand?
But I switched the camera back to you, so I just put my hand up like slowly to the camera, just like, okay.
Well, and I like the Dean character.
I do.
Don't like what he did, didn't like the actions, but I thought that Matt D'Angelo played him really well. A dejected outcast due to the actions that he fucking caused. Is a really interesting piece. I like Jade. I thought Jade was an interesting character. I thought she was played quite well. And yeah, no, is pretty good. I enjoyed. Obviously, it got a bit miserable at times, but it always was going to. You bring back a rapist.
Yeah, that's true. And unlike Family Guy, they actually told a decent story. Like, I always bring up the episode because I still don't like it to this day, but still, they actually were very serious about it, actually dealt with the topic. But again, it is, in hindsight, funny that he won't admit to murder, but he will admit to that. Because in his eyes, going down
He's
for that,
won.
he's won. It's literally like raising your hand at the end of a race, but you've lost like two of your legs, only have one arm. Did you really win? Was it really worth it? You did lose half your limbs. But I'm not going to read any of the comments here because I think this will just be us talking about it and going through it. Because this is essentially, there's no point reading the comments because the comments are going to be, yeah, I agree. I think you're pretty good with that, man. I think you're fairly formulaic. And then obviously you're gonna have other people going, no, you're fucking wrong.
I mean, another angle I will say. I mean, first and foremost, at this point in time, I'm glad that you say fan service, but the fan service it's short stints. You know, short stint Clenshaw brings them back for a fucking week. It's not like they're dominating the fucking show. They have 1 week to fill a plot point, fill a storyline, become the main focus, and then they fuck off again. Which means that these characters who before were pretty untouched and weren't ever really going to come back, like David Wicks hadn't returned in like fucking 10 years. These characters who are forgotten, now you're leaving them with first a tease of what possibly could come. Like when David left, he was FaceTiming Simon? Not Simon, Simon's his brother. He was. I mean, his son. He was mentioning his son and his grandkid.
Jamie?
Jamie. Is it Jamie? Go on, give me his kid. Son, Joe. It was Joe Wicks. There we are. It was Joe Wicks and his daughter Holly. So there we are. Set it up. But it also left you wanting more. Chrissy, yes, she finally got out of prison and had a pretty good exit. But all in all, you've set up her relationship with Danny Moon, which then, if you do ever want to bring the character back, you then have another good thing to build upon. Maybe you don't really have that with Ryan. Maybe you don't really get that with Ryan. You had it with Jane as well. Jane was a really good, interesting story. You got the Cindy and Jane back and forth over Ian, and now she's happily living with Masood and now Bobby, raising their family together. It's a nice, like, a lot of these exits as well. Like even a lot of the exits that weren't necessarily the most believable characters, you remembered why these characters were actually quite fucking good anyways. Like even, you remember Finley's exit where he actually became pretty cool for a week and then left? It's like, that's actually fucking cool. If only we'd seen this fucking guy for the last fucking 2 years he was on the show.
Like, it's amazing if because a great example I can give, I never really gave a shit about Karen Taylor, okay?
No.
I never really gave a shit about her. But that exit storyline where she steals the money because she's never had that amount of money in her life.
Steals the money.
The money was...
It's funny, just phrasing. But yeah, she did actually steal the money. Yeah.
Like, steals the money that's already stolen from a kidnapping that Keanu
in my
Foster
brain,
did.
you were saying, like, she owned the fucking show. She stole that money. It's fucking...
And I feel it just doesn't going to respond. But yeah, she stole like the money from Keanu stole from the fake kidnapping. Keanu roped her into that, nearly caused Karen to be a criminal, but it wasn't Karen's fault. And also, I forget what the fucking guy was called that I love. What the fuck's the guy called? I don't know his name.
Mitch?
Not Mitch. Karen's brother, I want to say.
Brother.
The guy with the mustache.
I don't remember his fucking name.
With the flat cap, him.
Yeah, I remember him, but I don't remember his name.
Yeah, he was a highlight. But again, like Karen, they made her very interesting. They made her like this woman who's like, well, Keanu, you roped me into this, so you know what? Suck on these fucking big blue balls, you motherfucker. and she walked out that door. Well, not that door. She walked in her van and drove away to Spain. And obviously she came back, and people have been mad at that. I understand.
They've been fucking angry for ages.
But my complaint is, you have to put yourself in that scenario. If your son has gone missing and he said he was going to come to you on Christmas, or roughly St. Stephen's Day / Boxing Day, or like the 27, 28, roughly that time period, and he hasn't come to you, so you ring him. Any answer? No. You keep ringing him, no answer. Keep ringing him, no answer. So you go and investigate. And lo and behold, they found out he's dead. So she obviously had to come back, because you can't hold a few. It's different if a character has died in real life. Then you can understand why they can't come back for a funeral that they're supposed to be at. But obviously, Karen Taylor's actress is still, Lorraine Stanley, is still alive. I think her name's Lorraine Stanley. So, like, obviously, they were going to bring her back for Keanu's funeral. And I don't understand why the outrage for that was, because she had to be there. Jane is another great example. Jane had to be there, because if you're building this thing up that Ian is seeing this mysterious woman, obviously it's Jane, you know that it's going to happen. And obviously they might bring Jane back at some point, but Jane is literally there to be like, Cindy, you bitch, you were never there for your kids. Don't fucking come on my shoes, bitch. You haven't walked in my shoes, bitch. I don't know why I keep saying she says the word bitch. It's just funny imagining her just busting that out every 5 minutes. It's her swear word. Obviously, I can understand why people hated it, but I enjoyed it. Cindy, they brought back Cindy, which was, in my opinion, a very hard decision to do, because it's hard to bring. Cindy is an interesting character in hindsight, because her exit was she died off screen. So no matter what you were going to establish, it was going to be very hard to like make it believable in a sense, because it's Cindy, she's an iconic character. And also the introduction of the Knights and Kojo and the new Mitchells, I think he's done a fantastic job. Obviously Kojo has become our highlight of the show. Obviously
so is Barney.
Love
Barney as well.
Obviously Barney famously last week was dangled across a bridge. He fell to his death. Obviously you have stuff like that. I can understand criticisms about like nostalgia and fan service, but I always compare it to wrestling. There's a difference between if you have a main event, if you have a guy from 10 years ago or 20 years ago who wants to have one more match, you want him to come in, it's alright to have him come in and fight the new guy. You have the new guy go over, it's perfectly fine. But if you have him win and then he goes on, he beats champions that he shouldn't be beating and continues to run, then
I mean, it's like the angle of, do you really want to see Hulk Hogan wrestle in 2024?
Exactly, yeah.
If Hogan's wrestling in 2024, it's like, I'm only going to wrestle on like the main big shows. And it's like, well, that's just not happening, is it? Like, no one wants to see that. And just to wrap this fully to my other point, is I feel like these short-term returns have accentuated what's currently good about the show and where they're going. Like, they're not bringing back old characters to carry main plot points. Most of the characters on the show are newer characters, and they are generally a key focus. The new Mitchells were introduced. The Panesar's been around for about 5 years now. The Knights within the last year. Cindy returning after like a 30-year break. Like, all these characters have been main focuses of this era of Clenshaw. So it's not like he's brought back Carol Jackson and she's getting like 3 years worth of storylines in one. Here are these short-term returns that accentuate current storylines and make them the main focus. And I think that's a difference. A worse producer would have been like, all right, bring back David Wicks. He's going to be back for a year. And it's like, fucking hell, all right. That does sound like I'm happy that it's happening, but fuck me, is it going to be a bit of a 50-50? Because how much room is there really for the character, for example? Like,
yeah, again, it's the thing of it's better if it's only short term than long term, because again, you have to. It's the problem. You like a great example, and I actually can give this example that's not a wrestling example because the game has come out and I've probably seen the leaks. So if it's not true, it's not true. But if it's true, it's true. Obviously, I'm a big Life is Strange fan for people who don't know, and obviously they brought back Max. So for context, in the last game she was in, the first one, you have a choice. You can either save the town and sacrifice your girlfriend, or you can sacrifice the town, save your girlfriend. Now, a lot of things have happened backstage with the studio, like Nazi stuff. Like, much of them were Nazis and shit. I'm not getting into that, but there's obviously been a lot of discourse because you brought back Max, so obviously you want to bring back her partner. But from what I've been hearing, is the studio and the original people who own the licenses do not like Chloe. So it's kind of like that, where what's the point of bringing back one? You're not bringing back the other, and if it's only for a cash grab, then what's the point? Because you're all for a cash grab, but if your literal point is Max is back, buy the game, I mean, you might get Chloe, and then you don't. It's like, well, you bought the game, so here you go. It's the same with EastEnders. There's a difference between going, here's Dirty Den for 3 weeks, and then going, but no one else is returning. It's only Dirty Den, no Sharon, no family. It's just Dirty Den. It's like, what's the point? You need his family. That's where I want to say as well. Like, that's why all the characters work, because they all have their family with them, around them.
Yeah,
I think that's why it works.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's a really kind of, that's the difference. I do genuinely think that he's not made these old characters a main focus. I mean, even most of the characters who in a previous era would be given more, like Ian, like Phil, even like Kat and Alfie, they are kind of in the background of this current period. And you do see a genuine desire to, like I said, establish newer, like, main characters, like leading characters on the show, like Linda, like Suki, like, I mean, Kathy's not really, she doesn't really count, but like Denise, for example. These characters who in previous years have still been a key figure, but never really made to be the great. And like I said, fan service only goes so far. You can only do so much fan service before even the fans go, can we just get something good though? Like, you know what, this is great. You've tickled my balls, but can I just have the rest of it now? No, actually, he's going to wait, Phil, 3 months' time when we bring back David Wicks. It's like, fucking hell, 3 more months. Fucking Jesus.
That's what I want to say. Please let us know what you think down in the comment section below. Since this has been more of an offhanded like discussion rather than me going, well, actually, Hishu says, agree to disagree. That was the first comment, by the way, so shout out to Hishu. If you like more of this and you want more of this, let us know. We can do discussion topics. Even if you have comments that you generally want us to talk about, like generally, if you have a topic like, okay, can you guys discuss this as a podcast type thing? We have no problem doing it. This has obviously been recorded live on twitch.tv/Watching Walford. You can join us for some fun, and you can hear us what we do between recordings. So you can hear say the C word if you enjoy that and all that stuff. But yeah, thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one. And is Chris Clenshaw a coward? Let us know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching.